You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Hey, buddy, you gonna eat that sausage?
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Tell me something, my friend.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the role? Ladies and gentlemen! Your complete attention, if you please.
The Epic Film Guys Podcast. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Epic Film Guys Podcast. We are brand new, Justin. My name, of course, is Nick.
Is it really?
No.
The
Lisp. I am secretly the Lisp. I've been the Lisp this whole time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm
Justin.
Cocks and such. And dicks.
And that's Nick.
Dicks.
And that's
we
Tommy.
Love cock. Who's?
Yeah.
What?
No.
I don't know who
confused
said that.
here. Is this really happening this week
I think
already?
it is really happening this week. But
God damn it.
ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight. It's June officially, Justin. Summer is steamrolling toward us extremely quickly. The end of the month is also coming extremely quickly. And Justin, end of the month comes the sequel to a film that you really, really enjoyed, and a film that I barely gave a passing grade to because it tickled my nostalgia boner just enough. We're getting Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom at the end of the month. So tonight, as a special look back, we'll say, we don't do this often enough probably on the show, but we are going to take a look back at the 1993 Spielberg masterpiece, I would say.
Classic.
Say masterpiece.
Yeah.
Classic. Amazing. Original Jurassic Park.
Just in time, Nick, for its 25th anniversary,
Yes.
which is this month. So we are celebrating Jurassic Park, and we're going to be...
all month long, baby.
Yeah, man. Jurassic, baby. And we are going to be giving away those digital codes at some point, probably for the Fallen Kingdom episode. But we do have the Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray digital codes from that there box set that I done reckon I purchased. And we'll give them away to you guys.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
No, I'm not at all.
No.
I bought it, and I actually did an unboxing video, which you didn't watch, Tommy, so shut the hell up. But I got to ask you, Nick, man, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm fine, really. I'm out of work again, unfortunately. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday, and my back, if you guys recall, probably a little bit over a year ago, February of last year or so, I went out of work because I have a dried out disc at the base of my spine. And I went through physical therapy, and I was doing exercises and all sorts of stuff. And it was, feeling much, much better. I finished everything up. I hit 6 months being out of work, and I had to go back. So I went back to work, and then for the first few months I was back, everything felt fine. And unfortunately, my health has just kind of started to deteriorate again over the past 2, maybe 3 months, to where it's worse now, I think, than it was even back then. So I'm headed back to therapy, and hopefully the doctors got me on some different medications and stuff. I need to lose a lot of weight. I was hyper, not embarrassed, I think. I would more disgusted with myself. And I know that's a body image thing. Please, God, do not put the messages about it. I get it. But super, super just shocked at myself that it was the number it was. I won't talk about the number that it was, but certainly not happy with it. And Justin knows, Justin knows me from, way back when we used to work out twice a day, working at 21st Century. Man. Where, we were both in really, really great shape back then, and I have unfortunately deteriorated a lot since then. So I'm going to take a few months, hopefully. We'll see kind of what the doctor says, and we'll see kind of what path I have to take here. But I'm going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to get myself right, get myself healthy, start exercising a lot more, especially while I'm off work, take the time to get healthy and, do what I've got to do. But aside from that, the wife had to kill her cat today.
Oh, dude.
It's I mean, it came down to, unfortunately, I mean, unfortunately in these kinds of situations, it always comes down to money as well as the pet's well-being. He had developed, like, she noticed he was breathing really, really strangely, like a couple days ago, like breathing really, really weird and everything. And he seemed like really lethargic. He seemed like he was devoid of energy. And then yesterday she, it had gotten even worse, and she's like, okay, I'm taking him to the vet straight away today. And she takes him to the vet, and the vet was like, he's got some kind of fluid in his lungs or whatever. And here's what we can do. We can keep him overnight. The vet wasn't even sure he would last overnight, really. Like, this thing developed, whatever it was, really, really quickly. It just happened. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, dude.
So, the vet wasn't even sure he would live through the night. They were like, we can take a sample of the fluid. We can send it out to this lab, and it's going to have this price tag on it. You can spend like $2,000 plus, and you can send him to Cornell. And, even still, there's a chance that he might not even, last it through the night. Or, if it is whatever it is, and then, it might be a heart condition that's going to require you to give this cat two pills a day. This is not a cat that you could give 2 pills a day to, because he often, like, he hated me, like, and I had no love lost for the cat either. But I'm just, being respectful for my wife, because I know that she loved him and everything. But, this was a cat that, like, legitimately groomers had to wear the dog gloves when she took him to the groomers, and they would still feel the force of his bites through him, because he was of an aggressive, just angry little bastard. And, like, she used to have to try to tranquilize him, give him tranquilizers, dope him up to take him to the groomers or to take him to the vet.
Did she ever try smoking weed and blowing the weed in his face? She probably
should have. Like, legit. So, like, there's no way you were feeding this cat 2 pills a day. Nobody's coming out of it with fingers. So it just came down to, unfortunately, he was deteriorating so quickly. Like, his condition turned, like, so quickly. And the vet was, like I said, the vet was pretty sure that he wasn't going to make it through the night anyway. And between that and then, it's like, oh, let's spend $2,000 to send him to Cornell when he might die tonight anyway.
I know how that is, dude.
Unfortunately, it was a hard decision for her to make, but unfortunately she had to do it. And, it just is what it is. And it's never an easy decision. And I know, like I said, I know that she really, really liked the cat. She got the cat, quite a few years ago, 6 years. He was a little over 6 years old. So, or at least so far as we know, because she found him, like, as a stray. No idea how old he might have actually been or anything like that. So, yeah, that's how my day's going.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. I've been in similar situations myself before. Our rat Whiskey Whiskers, who you yourself met years and years ago, similar situation. He was totally healthy, great, young. We came home from a trip and he had a breathing problem. We took him and they said the same thing, and you
all
have
of
to do what's
it
best
developed
for them.
so quick too. Like, it was legit like 2 days ago that she noticed, and then all of a sudden she was like, his breathing seems really, really weird. And then she came home from work yesterday and she checked on him yesterday, and then she was like, like, even more and more concerned about it. So yeah, I mean, she took him and she texted me or so and called me, like, pretty much an hour after she got to the vet. And, like, once they took a look at him and everything, and once they kind of started to feel him out and kind of see how he was doing and everything like that, yeah, the vet, like I said, they weren't very optimistic that he would have made it anyway, no matter what we would have done. So, I mean, unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's heartbreaking, but you get forced into that position. It's like, we really can't afford to spend a fortune. Like, if we would have kept him there overnight, it would have doubled our vet bill instantly.
Well, that, and like you said, there's always the chance that it's not going to turn out for the better anyway. So you got to do what's best
because
for them.
His condition, and he would have just suffered. He would have just suffered and been whatever. So, it like I said, it's really, really sad. And I know, my wife was upset about it. So we were delayed a little bit in getting started tonight. We had to push a day because Justin was sick yesterday.
Oh, man.
Well, how are you feeling, man? That's what I was
feeling
worried
good
about yesterday.
Well, there's a lot of reasoning why, which I won't get into on the show. But I did have an awesome weekend, though, for the most part. I got to go to Richmond to go to Vail, one of my favorite breweries, and I got to go to a show. I've been going to a lot of shows lately, one of which I'm going to mention in a moment that I forgot to mention last week on the show. So we went to go to Richmond to see Dance Kevin Dance, Era, and a couple other bands, IC Stars, Cyanvar. We went on as a family, ate some food, drank some booze. Not Kaya. No, she's not old enough for that yet. and saw a show. But the week before, man, I totally forgot to mention this on the show. I did post it to my social media, but we did a double header. It's a long story, but I'll make it short. We went and saw Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day's new band, The Long Shot, because Kai is really into Green Day. It was like one of the first bands I got into when I was her age as well. And we saw them in DC. And you know how I like to meet people, and it didn't happen. So the next day we went to Baltimore in a really cool dive bar, and I got her to meet him. So we actually met Billy Joe Armstrong.
Good for you.
Okay, Christian, that is not appropriate.
Amazing.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome. She was super excited about it, and I've never seen a bigger smile on her face. So I forgot to mention that last week, but I was on a pretty big high from that because I love that moment when you're like, it's happening. We got it, and it's done. And we actually got let into that show as well. It was sold out, but they let us in anyway. So I've been doing a lot of shows lately, and I have a lot of concerts planned this summer. Kai is just really getting into shows and stuff like that at this age. So I'm all about it, dude. Fuck it. More concerts. I just love live music. But other than that, dude, I feel bad. Like, I'm talking about good things. And you just had a death in the family from your wife's pet, and your health is going back to shit.
And my health is in the fucking shit. Like, I mean, dude, you know what though? Realistically, I've got nobody to blame for myself. Like, I don't take good enough care of myself, and like seeing that number on that scale was a huge wake up call to me. And that is a perfect segue for us to get into a time honored segment here on the Epic Film Guys called "What Are You Drinking?"
I'm back! Puke and rally! Woo! Give me a beer!
There has never been a more perfect segue in the history of this show, and there never will be again.
I doubt it. I doubt it'll ever be that good again. Seriously. I don't think there ever will be that. No.
I will actually I saw the can when you were playing with it earlier. It's a beer that I've had before, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us all about it.
I had it last week. I'm lazy. I was gonna already have a second beer by this point, but I didn't. So I'm drinking. You call that a knife?
Fucking slacker.
Yeah. Well, we were talking, and
I saw the special drops though. I saw the special drops can. I've had the special drops though, right?
You have. You've had more than one special drop. A special drop it just means
that's the name of the series then.
Yeah, it's just so it's a surprise. So like on a Friday or a Saturday, they'll announce that there's a special drop, and then people will flock in large groups of hundreds of people. So this is what I had last week. I believe it's the double India Pale Ale dry hopped with the Citra, Vic Secret, and Wamea, if I said it right. Yeah. Passion fruit, dank, pine, peach, West Coast bitterness, which isn't really nearly as bitter as the typical West Coast beers. It's 8.3% alcohol by volume. Those of you that didn't listen last week, but I like this beer. This is my last one. I did get some Vale. I got some cans of Vale in the fridge that I'm going to get into in a little bit when we get to our Jurassic Park part of the show. But it's good. I love this beer. I'll continue to drink it. Whenever they make this beer and they brew it, I will buy it and I will drink it.
Yes.
But what do you have guzzling down your gullet?
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Oh my God. Patrons of the show will get more of that. Will understand more.
Saint Anger around my neck. 15 years old today. Saint Anger. Metallica. Yeah.
Damn it. I have, of course, a closet full of homebrew that I am still working my way through. I can't even brew another batch because I don't have enough containers to put a new batch in, even if I brewed one. So I'm drinking the Cascade IPA for the Cure, and I love that just floral and that citrus note that it has up front. It's got a light body, not a very strong mouthfeel. I forgot to put the reverb effect on the one I did last week. I felt so bad when I was listening to it. Like, I was in my car listening to the episode, and I was like, God damn it, Nick. But yeah, this is super good. There's tons of it up in the closet for me to finish, as well as tons of it up there for you. Whenever I don't know how much more beer I'm going to have brewed for you by the time I see you again. I don't know. I'm
definitely going to be up in July. I know I'll be up in July. I was hoping that I'd be up this month, but I doubt it at this point.
I should try
weekend we have something planned.
Do you know when in July?
July around the 20th or something.
Oh, okay. I should try to. You know what I should do? I should try to do a batch for my birthday. That would be like a week after that. So I should try to do a batch that's ready for my birthday, and then we can tap like an early growler of it or something when you come up. I've got so much fucking beer for you. Like legit, you're not going to need beer for 2 fucking months. It's going to be ridiculous.
I'm just going to be drunk every day.
Probably.
And then the wife will put me into rehab and I'll lose my job.
Like, we'll try to keep the Epic Film guys going, but, you know, I'll be like, well, we have to close the show down. We have to fold the show because I put Justin into rehab by sending home literally more beer than
your health's going to shit. Animals are dying, then I'm in rehab. What's going to happen next? The Lisp will come back and host the whole damn show with Loy Sauce, and then Greg Sestero will come on. They'll all get married in a 3-way marriage. I don't know, man.
Oh my god, that actually, I'd listen to the shit out of that.
I love it.
I would love to listen to that episode. But Justin, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. We've got a full retrospective of the original Jurassic Park to do tonight, and we're dropping epic previews on you tonight in the third segment. 3 trailers. We're going to be dropping on you big stuff over there, but not a trailer that Justin was really, really hoping was going to drop last week. Justin,
it didn't happen, man.
Now
not
knows.
Until this Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. What's going to happen on Friday, Justin? Tomorrow, as of release day.
Ding, 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 ding. It's right. Halloween, David Gordon Green's Halloween. After so much fan backlash, complaining, whining, bitching, moaning.
Fans know.
Fan entitlement. Well, they said they wanted to build it up, you know, and I've been wanting it. I've been anticipating it, but I'm totally fine if they really want to make the product perfect and they want to build it up the right way. They're the ones making the movie. It's coming out in October. We know that much. But as of this recording, 24 hours, you'll be seeing the trailer posted on the Facebook page, Epic Film Guys. And don't be surprised if the sauce jumps in with an early reaction video. He says, I'm doing quotes right now, quotations with my fingers. He says he's going to do a video. But we may actually just have a very special Halloween treat, a trick or a treat up our sleeves for you guys.
That is not the treat. That is not the treat, Loy Sauce.
I don't think you're going to get that. He's had bad luck on Grindr lately. I don't know. And Greg Sestero's in the picture now. Who knows what's going to happen? But yes, the trailer. I'm super excited. And they did release a bunch of photos from USA Today today. And I'm really pumped on what I've seen. I love the new mask. I love the look. Awesome shot of Michael Myers / I should be saying the shape, because it's not really Michael Myers. It's literally the embodiment of the shape, like the original film, crashing through a door window at her, and she's scared, and it looks awesome. So I'm excited. Be on the lookout for more Halloween-related content from the Epic Film Guys podcast.
Ooh, including possibly the return of a long dormant, not really segment, because it wasn't a segment. They were their own show.
The Blackest Eyes. The Devil's Eyes. Ooh, spooky, scary.
I sucked a dick last night.
That is not what we're talking. God damn it. I can't deal with him anymore, Justin.
I don't know. That is kind of scary, though. Man, it is scary.
We've got to take a break here. We've got to run into some EFG history. And then, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we are stepping back in time to 1983 to talk about what is probably one of the greatest summer blockbusters.
Did you say 83?
Literally. What?
Did you say 83?
No. Did I say 83?
Yes, you did.
We're stepping back in time to 1983, and then from there, we're going to fast forward to 1993. Justin, I want to go back to 83 because I want Justin to live through the 80s again, because he loves the 80s. He just absolutely loves it.
I was born in 83, man. I'd love to go through the 80s again.
He would love to just hang out with little baby Justin, and then little baby Justin be like, who the fuck is this motherfucker?
Dude, I get to go to the movies with him all the times he has to go to the movies at the drive-in theater and see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
You get to see Batman 89, relive the hype all over again. Yeah. Relive Eckhart on the big screen with the rest of the audience seeing it for the first time, even though you've seen it a million. You'd be quoting all of his lines and people be like, what?
Imagine that. Like if I was in a theater,
carried this bit
that'd
on,
be crazy.
This flub on way longer than we really should have. I'm sorry, but we're going to jump into some EFG history. We'll be back. Jurassic Park, and on the back of that, we've got some epic previews. Justin, kick us out of the segment here.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
This week in epic film history. In my opinion, I mean, if you're the kind of person that has and this was literally like a handful of screening in major markets across the country, and you had your chance to buy a ticket to fucking like any number of like a couple of dozen other screenings at the same fucking theater. Stop being a fucking crybaby bitch. Like, this is a very, very important moment in film, and it's a very, very important moment in comic book films where we get an amazingly strong, and as many points as I want to get at of things I didn't like about this film, the portrayal of Wonder Woman in this film as a very, very strong, well-realized female character is fucking brilliant, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that. And yeah, you know what, if you want to let women just celebrate that fact, because this character means so much to so many, like, look at all the little pictures of all the little girls and stuff that like are just like look up to this poster, or with Gal Gadot with little girls and stuff. Go fuck yourselves. Like, legitimately 100%, if you had a problem with this, go fuck yourselves. How in the hell are you out there, everybody, in podcast land? I am Epic Film Guy Nick. And I'm Justin, and I'm also an Epic Film Guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot I was even on this show. Oh yeah, so I'm Justin. I'll be on the show and I'll speak some words when I get a chance. I'm here though. I'm here in spirit.
Hey, you know, I was thinking earlier, I really like that Charles Bronson guy. He's kind of the kind of guy I want to sit down and have a couple shots of some really old swill garbage rum with. Have a couple
Mr.
beers.
Boston?
Mr. Boston will be acceptable. I have no problem with that. I like that kind of alcohol that you would drink, the cheapest that they have at the bar. It's all I can afford. But I also enjoy a good can of PBR. Maybe even possibly some Miller Lite if you think about it twice. I'm not sure. Anything that can get me drunk for cheap is all I give a shit about.
I really think we need the theme music for... You know what? I figured out a name for you. I couldn't decide whether you were Hobo or Hipster Justin, so you're now Hobster Justin.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I have no clue who you are, where I am right now. Why are you calling me names like that? Just give me a can of PBR and a couple of, quarters from my pocket, and I'll be on my way. Huh?
Yes.
Do you want to know Wonder Woman as having an invisible jet whose weakness is being able to be tied up by a man?
That jet's showing up. The jet's showing up. Let's face it. It's happening. Come on. Wait.
You can't prove to me that the jet was not in this film.
Valid point. That is a valid point.
No, that's, I can't argue with that kind of logic.
Right now, I'm drinking this, it's called BluBrry Maple Stout. Nick, you and I have talked about this on this.
Because this beer sounds so good.
It is, instead of using sugar, it uses maple syrup to ferment it. And the secondary fermentation adds blueberries. And drinking it, it just tastes like a regular stout, but the aftertaste tastes like a pancake breakfast. It is the coolest goddamn thing.
You know how Nick would do that, right? Nick would take Miller fucking Light blueberries and pour it in a fucking bowl and drink it, and he'd call it a fucking blueberry
Close
stout.
enough.
That's what you would, Nick, I know that's what you would do. That's how you do your chocolate stouts.
How do you know that's not what I'm doing right now?
Ice cream. I wouldn't doubt it. Actually, I can see the video. I can see you drinking decent beer. It's not that, but I always picture you slurping it out of a bowl with a spoon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for hanging out here on the Epic Film Guys podcast. We love you. We super appreciate you.
Yeah.
This fucking sentence. We really appreciate you being here with us. And Justin and I don't do this often enough, quite frankly, on the show, because you are about to hear both of us fanboy the fuck out for the next, I don't know, however long this retrospective is going to take. Now, this isn't going to be a review so much as kind of a revisiting. We're going to go back and we're going to look at some of our favorite moments from Steven Spielberg's unbelievably amazing. I would say masterpiece. I would say it.
It is.
Spielberg. You want to know what the best thing about Spielberg is? And a lot of people could make a lot of claims about Spielberg. The best thing about Spielberg is that
he still looks the same age now as he did when he was in the 80s.
Well, that's because he sold his soul to the devil. We know that. But Spielberg was doing post and doing editing and doing stuff like that on this film.
That's right.
While he was making Schindler's List. And Schindler's List is also a masterpiece in a completely different realm from Jurassic Park.
It's insane to think, and we'll go off on plenty of tangents here, but it's insane to think that he was doing Jurassic Park, the post of Jurassic Park, but he was doing those two films back to back.
Yeah.
How can you do those? I mean, one's about a dinosaur adventure picture, and then the next thing is like serious subject matter, that of which not many people have tackled actually in the way that he tackled it. So
very few. The only one that I would dare say comes close is Roman Polanski's The Pianist. And that's only because Roman Polanski was actually a Holocaust survivor. So he's got that over Spielberg in terms of making films. But we're not here to talk about The Pianist or to talk about Schindler's List, although we should at some point. But man, that film is a tough fucking watch. It's a tough rewatch. Like a lot of people will put that on their list of movies they can never rewatch again. I wouldn't say that at all because it is so beautiful. It's so masterfully crafted that.
But I gotta ask you, how long has it been since you've sat down? Because you recently watched Jurassic Park for the first time in a while. How long has it been, dude?
The original film?
Yeah, the first one, that we're talking about tonight. Yeah, how long has it been, dude? Do you remember?
Long time. The whole film, the entire film. Like I've seen bits and pieces. Because obviously, whenever it's on TV, you stop and watch. It's one of those movies.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies. So, like, whenever I've seen bits and pieces of it, but obviously, I never saw it. Like a lot of people rewatched through everything and caught up before they went and saw Jurassic World. I didn't do that. I think I watched Jurassic World 3 for some reason not too long ago. I don't know why.
Jurassic
I'm gonna watch
Park
it
3?
again.
You mean Jurassic Park 3?
Whatever.
Jurassic whatever the fuck 3.
Jurassic
but I gotta
something.
ask you, man, before we actually get into our main thoughts and really dig in deep on the film, I just wanted to ask you, and we could talk about our experiences seeing it for the first time. When was the first time you ever watched Jurassic Park?
And I can't say this about a lot of films, especially from my childhood. And I was 13 years old, almost 13. I was 12, almost 13 when this film came out. I saw this one in theaters when it opened. This is one of those films. This is one of those films. So when I saw this film, I saw it for the first time on the big screen. You want to go back to moments in time, Justin, and you and I have talked a lot about how Batman 89 is a defining film for both of us in our cinematic kind of evolution, as we would say. It's that film that really made us love cinema in a way that nothing else did. I would probably say that Jurassic Park was my next step in that evolution, because this film, let's get this out of the way right up front, okay? This film holds up so well today.
It does.
So well today. I know you probably watched it in 4K.
I did, yeah. I had to. I mean, I've asked plenty of times, our listeners, our followers, if they're interested in having us, or having me, I guess, because, do anything with 4K or like talk about 4K reviews. But I did do an unboxing video, and I'd like to get into that. But as of right now, I understand the format's still new, and not a lot of people have jumped on yet. So it is what it is. But I had to, because literally, this is something I've had on every format, Nick, except for the Laserdisc. I never had the Laserdisc.
I never had the Laserdisc, but I had the VHS. I had it on DVD. And I watched it yesterday in 1080p blue. So, I've also, except for 4K, that's the only format I have not seen it in. Tell us how the 4K transfer is, because I already know how good the blue transfer is. The blue transfer is fucking fantastic.
Well, dude, it's a mixed bag, honestly. I think the problem with the conversion of film to 4K is the studio. Sony, for example, is a studio known for not really producing great films now into theaters, but their home video releases are fantastic. Like if you watch the first Ghostbusters on Ultra 4K, it's pristine. It looks like you're watching a brand new 35mm print in your house. Jurassic Park, on the other hand, there are some shots that are mind-blowingly good. But I'm not the purist that a lot of people are. I still think it's the best that you've ever seen it, as far as what format you've seen it on. And I was very impressed with the sound mix that came along with it. I thought it sounded beautiful. I mean, when you hear those dinosaurs roar and those sound effects and the sound of the jungles, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. Still not a great release, I would say, but a pretty good one. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for me, along with you, I did see the first Jurassic Park in theaters. I did not see it opening weekend. I like to boast that all the time on the show, that I saw this movie when I was a kid opening weekend. It took weeks because for some reason my parents just would not take me to see it. My mom thought it looked too scary. She said she didn't want to see it. It's funny because I've talked about this on the show before. My mom didn't believe dinosaurs were real when I was a kid. So she said, no, they were just big cows or something. So, yeah, dude, that's my mom for you.
The look I'm giving him right now. If you guys can see the appeal.
No, I'm serious. It's for real. And my dad said, no. So I saw it with my grandparents like 3 or 4 weeks after it had already started playing in theaters. And I saw it at the Owego Theater, which from where you live now, it's still operating. And it's not that far. It's about 20 minutes away from you. Historic theater. And I remember just being in awe over it. I think it's that one movie for a lot of us at this age, if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, that you get to see it in theaters. It blew you away. It took your breath away. Like there was nothing else like it. It was the first time that you actually saw living, breathing dinosaurs on the big screen. And what else could you do other than just be in complete awe over what you saw on the big screen? So that awesome. We both saw it on the big screen, but let's jump right in, man. So you watch it for the first time in a long time.
It's been a long, long time since I have sat through this film from start to finish. Yeah. So, I mean, as I already prefaced the whole entire retrospective with, I feel that this film is a masterpiece. I absolutely love this film. This film is the perfect combination of funny, of action-packed. There is not a single character in this film that you don't care about. And I will say that from the get-go, and that's going to be very important as we go forward, because we're going to do a special release, a special mini-sode, talking about The Lost World, about Jurassic Park 3, and about Jurassic World. This film, you care about every single character in this film. You even give a shit about Gennaro, the fucking lawyer character. You even care about the lawyer character. You care about the kids. You care about Samuel L. Jackson's character. You care about all of these characters because every single person that's involved in this film brought not just their A game, beyond that, way fucking beyond that. And I want to center that, Justin, on Richard fucking Attenborough. Can anybody else ever have played John Hammond and immediately made you fall in love with just literally everything he says and literally everything he wants to do?
I mean, dude, this is a guy that directed Gandhi, okay? He was a director 10 years before this.
Yep.
He won an Oscar for Best Director and Best Picture for Gandhi. This guy knew film. And, like, when you see him in this role, I mean, a lot of people only know him in this role. He did plenty other stuff.
Oh, he's expansive career, yeah.
When you watch him in this movie, there's a certain comfort level that you feel when you watch him.
Oh, yeah, yes, and yes, that's perfect.
You feel like it could be your grandfather, it could be your uncle, it could be your family member. Like, this character cares so much about what he wants to bring to the world. As naive as he is about what this actually is that he's doing, you care about what he has to say, and you care about what he's trying to show you. And you're excited because you're, as an audience member, going to see this thing that he's giving to the world. You're one of the first people to see it in the way that he envisioned it, for the most part, until, well, of course, as Loisos always says, hijinks ensue. But I feel like any other actor in this role, it just wouldn't have worked the way that it works with Attenborough in the role. It just literally, I mean, he sells the picture, because the one thing Spielberg set out to do when he decided to make this movie is he wanted no movie stars. He said the movie can't work if he's got Harrison Ford up there, even though, little tidbit here, his first pick for Alan and Grant was Harrison Ford, who turned it down. He didn't want big movie stars in this because he wanted the focus to be on this world that's being created.
Harrison Ford as Grant.
No, of course not.
No.
He wanted great actors, and everyone in this movie is great. Everyone is very talented, but no one in this movie at this time was a movie star per se.
No.
So I think that especially Attenborough was just like, he had that gravitas. He had that long history of filmmaking and being in other movies and directing movies where, he just fit perfectly into that.
You know what? One of the things that really struck me about this film when I was rewatching it, Justin, is how long the setup is before you really get. And of course, we got to talk about the iconic scene. We're going to talk about it in a little bit here, but how long the setup is before you actually get like actual dino, quote unquote, action. After, of course, the cold open where you get the raptor, that they're bringing the raptor into the thing, and the worker gets eaten, because that kind of kicks off the plot. That's the whole reason why the investors need 2 experts, quote unquote, to sign off on the park. That's why they're, bringing Grant and Ellie to the island to sign off on the park. But this film takes forever. It takes its time to invest you in these characters. And one of the most striking scenes in this film is probably one of my favorite scenes in the film, if not my favorite scene in the film, aside from the scene. We'll talk about it. We got to talk about it. But it's the dinner scene. It's the dinner scene before they go out on the tour, where you have basically a philosophical debate about what Hammond and what InGen are doing on this island, cloning dinosaurs. Is it a good idea? What role do the dinosaurs play in today's world? What role do humans play? It's such a brilliant scene. It is perfectly, and I will say it again, it is perfectly fucking acted by everybody in it. Neil, Dern, Goldblum. You've got Attenborough in there, and then Martin Ferrero as Gennaro, the lawyer. It's perfect, dude. It's just one of those amazing scenes. That scene and the other scenes of setup that come before it, there's so much setup and there's so much build up to what's going to happen here. You already have met Nedry, who we talked about in the Patron of this segment. We're going to talk about him some more here. You've already met Nedry. You've already met Attenborough's character. He goes to recruit Grant and Ellie to come to the island. But that scene, I feel like when they're at dinner, is just, it's brilliant.
Well, they're finally getting down into it. They've seen
a lot of films would cut that, and I think Jurassic World does it a little bit, so I don't want to take all the credit away from Jurassic World here, but I think this film, more so than any of its predecessors, it understands the place of that debate in this film, and it makes it more than just an action spectacle. It makes it more than just a blockbuster spectacle, if you understand my meaning. It makes it something deeper. It makes it something more. You know what I mean? And I really believe that, and I really believe that that's why it elevates the film to the level that it's at. And you wouldn't think, okay, it's just an unassuming dinner scene. They're all just eating dinner and just talking. There's no dinosaurs in it, whatever. But to me, it's one of the most magnetic and the most engaging scenes in the film. I love it. And of course, this is where you get Jeff Goldblum's famous quotes in the movie. Your scientists were so concerned with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should. And, it's just... I love that scene.
I agree with you. And this movie came at a time when Michael Crichton, who wrote the book that the film is based on, that Steven Spielberg asked him about because they were working on a different project, and he said, "Oh my God, you're making a movie about dinosaurs in a park and cloning? I have to do something with this." The film came at a time when, scientists were just starting to clone things. It was this cloning technology had come about. And, a lot of people were against it. The whole idea of playing God. And the whole idea of playing God plays so much into this movie. And it's got those aspects of it. And I think a lot of critics at the time when it first came out didn't see it as much. They thought, oh, well, it's still a monster movie. It has those moments where you're in awe, but it's still a monster movie, which in the sense that it is. But when you watch it as an adult and you watch it 25 years later, you're like, wow, this really has so much to say about, humans playing God and how we've come from that moment and what we're doing now in the world. I love it. I love that scene so much. And I think that I like that it comes after that one moment. We might as well get to it right now because it is the moment that defines this film. It's the moment that you'll never get after this film, which is why a lot of the sequels suffer because, again, I always go back to this and I'll keep going back to it. Another Spielberg film in Jaws. When you show the shark for the first time coming out of the water, why don't you come down here and show him some of this shit? And you see Bruce come out of the water for the first time and slap his jaws. You're not ever going to get that moment again.
Yeah.
The audience is scared by it. They're shocked by it. But in the sequels, if you do, you can't get it again. So in this case, in Jurassic Park, it's the first time we see a full-size, living, breathing dinosaur. And I don't know about you, Nick, but when I was a kid, and still to this day when I rewatched it, I almost get in tears because I feel like I'm still seeing it. I'm still seeing a real live dinosaur in front of me, and the way that Sam Neill sells it, and the way that Laura Dern sells it, and even Goldblum.
It's down to the performances in the scene, number one, that sell it as well as it is. But I'll go even a step further than you. It does. It's one of those scenes where I watch it and I cry when I watch it, and I'm just even tearing up like thinking about it now, dude. Because number one, John fucking Williams score, who I will say it now, and I don't care if people disagree with me, probably his favorite score of mine. And I know he's got Star Wars, I know he's got Jaws, I know he's got Superman, I know he's got so many amazing iconic scores and so many amazing iconic films, but this one makes you feel it the most. And it's especially,
I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree.
That Jurassic Park theme that plays, you know, you see just that slow build up. Everything is very quiet. Everything is very slow. Sam Neill stands up out of the Jeep, and then he grabs Laura Dern's head and he twists her towards it, and she stands up. With both of their expressions are just so wide-eyed, so odd. And then you see the shot, and then Williams' score starts. Dude, it's waterworks, man. It's fucking waterworks.
It is true.
It is one
you're
of
perfectly
the
right. Yep.
most magical scenes ever put to film.
In film history.
Film history, period.
Alan, this species of Variformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't on this thing. What?
It's a dinosaur.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
You just tear up the rule book on it. Cold-bloodedness, it doesn't apply. They're totally wrong. This is a warm-bodied creature.
This thing doesn't live in a swamp.
This thing's got, what, a 25, 27-foot neck?
Brachiosaurus 30. We clocked the T-Rex to 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex.
Wow.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
They do move in herds. How'd you do this?
I know as a kid watching that for the first time that you had to be like, wow, it's a dinosaur.
I can't even tell you how I felt in that moment, but I know like the way that I feel about that moment now, and I guarantee you like then that was the moment that something in me like,
is it weird,
clicked,
Nick,
man,
that 25 years later that we're looking at 25-year-old, actually, when it was actually being made, 26-year-old CGI still holds up for us where we get an emotional reaction from it
still
compared to what we
amazing.
see now in film? It does.
Like I said, it is 100% a testament to, number one, the performances of Neil, especially Neil and Dern. You're right, Goldblum also sells it really well in the scene, and Attenborough, of course, is great, but it's also the score. I'm sorry, Dan. I know. What's the score? I don't know about anybody else. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but it is one of those scenes. It'll reduce me to just nothing because of all the scenes of all the films I've ever seen in my life, it is one of the most powerful and the most effective.
This is one of those rare moments when Spielberg took material that was already pre-written, took it, changed it, and made it adapted to film and made it better.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain because it's not exactly like the book, but for me, when I watch the movie, like I can't find anything wrong with it personally. Of course, there's like little mini things that, and I know you actually posted some stuff on your Facebook page recently, and we'll get into that. Yep, but I like that sets it up perfectly for you to go, this is this brand new world.
It immediately
this
sells
is good.
Not only that scene, but it immediately sells the rest of the film to you wholesale. Everything else you're about to see, every other dinosaur you're about to see, every
you're gonna believe
single
it
thing
all.
else, you're going to buy into it. You're going to be hook, line, and sinker, sold, done, boom. Perfect. And it's all in the power of that one scene. And we're jumping around here, and I mean, obviously we kind of just have to. I don't really want to do like a review of the film or anything, but we talked about him in the pre-roll, Justin.
Dennis Nedry.
Fucking Nedry, man. Wayne goddamn Knight.
Most known for being Newman on Seinfeld, which this character is not too far off from that character.
Hello,
God,
Dodson.
I love the first time we see this character when he's sitting there in his Hawaiian shirt.
The best thing is that before you even get an introduction to the park, you already know that there's something malicious that's going to go down.
Exactly.
I really love that. And, of course, it wasn't planned to be what it was. It wasn't planned to be, his plan obviously was just to shut down the system long enough to escape the island. And, I mean, it really... Let's put it out here. Let's put it out here right now. It really comes down to really shitty planning on the part of Nedry. Like, he's just got really, really shitty planning. Like, there's no reason.
But the storm, though. The storm, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no reason. It's his greed. It's his greed because he's got financial problems. I'm sorry about your financial problems, Dennis, but they really are your problems. But it's his greed.
What's he say? I don't blame people for their mistakes, but I do ask that they pay for them.
Yes. Thanks, Dad. But it's such a great scene because it's such a great character because his greed really is what ends up costing. I mean, obviously it highlights the glaring flaws in their plans, in their system. It highlights, how quickly it can all fall apart, how quickly it can all go to pieces, because he was able to just basically click a few buttons and bring down the whole downfall of the park.
We needed this character, I feel like, to show.
All he had to do was just fucking wait until, oh shit, there's a tropical storm coming in. Well, we're going to have to wait, until after the storm passes. Shouldn't have been that hard. The first time we meet him.
But it is the social commentary, Nick, though, that I think that they're trying to say something with, we all think technology is there to save us, that we're so protected, we're so safe because of it. And then when we lose that.
How much more does that resonate today?
Exactly. Yeah. Again, the film is still so socially relevant today, 25 years later. It's insane. But that's what I'm saying when they're talking about cloning and technology. And, well, we got computers. We've got this expert here. We're totally fine. We're safe. We can house these prehistoric creatures that are extremely dangerous, that can kill all of us, with just one guy at a computer.
Yeah.
And that when you lose that one guy and you lose that one bit of technology, it's extremely frightening.
Another amazing scene in this film, and I go back to all these scenes because I really feel like it's the quiet moments that make Jurassic Park the masterpiece that it is. It's the flea circus. Attenborough and Dern, Hammond and Ellie talking about the flea circus, and ultimately, it's that theme you talked about before of man playing God. It's the same exact thing. You come back to it over and over again, but the film constantly takes the time to slow down, to let off the gas pedal, let off of the action and everything, to give you these quieter moments. And I mean, again, we'll talk about this when we talk about the sequels, but the sequels do not do this. If they do it at all, they don't do it enough, And
there's not time in the sequels really too, but that's why we're lucky that we get that in this, because that's one of the
I think
slow
it's what
moments
makes the film.
make the film, because in between all of the great action and my favorite sequence, which is most people's favorite sequence, we'll get to that, and then that's the next thing I'm going to mention, because it's iconic.
I mean, I'm looking at your arm right now. I already know what you're going to say.
You see her right there.
I already know what you're going to say.
Tattooed on there, baby. But no, it's those small moments, those great moments of Phil with fantastic dialogue with these characters, and you believe everything they're saying. The flea circus, it's all about the illusion.
Yeah.
And even at that point in time, after shit's already hit the fan and people have already started dying and getting attacked and injured, Hammond's still under the impression that he can fix it because of the technology.
He still thinks he can control it.
Yeah. But we got to get to it right now, Nick, because this moment is literally when I was a kid. I mean, you saw the trailers. You knew it was coming, but you said it earlier in the discussion. The film has a perfect build-up. Spielberg is really well versed in the build-up. He did it in Jaws. He did it in Close Encounters. He's done it plenty of times prior to Jurassic Park. So when he gets there, it's easy for him to do it. All right, we're going to show you this little bit. We're going to give you a little taste of the carnage. Then we're going to give you the beauty. And then we're going to give you the big shebang.
And the best part, before you even say it, the best part is Spielberg even goes so far as to give not just his characters in the film, but he also gives the audience blue balls. Because they begin the dinosaur tour.
Yes.
2 no-shows and 1 sick Triceratops. That's all you get. That's all you get. And then, go ahead, man. You got to talk about it.
Dude, when the Tyrannosaur paddock, when the power goes out and they're sitting in the cars, it's literally like, I can't even tell you, like, even now to this day, when I sit down to watch it, I look forward to that part in the film. Because it's so iconic and it's so well done. The blending of full-size animatronics with CGI, and it was the first time they've ever done anything like that. And when you're watching it, you're like, this is the first time I've ever seen a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And it's masterful, and it's scary.
I can count on one hand the number of times that CGI effects have ever felt as real to me as they do in that sequence. And I want to talk about it as we get into this scene, Justin, because this is where we have to bring Lex and Tim into the discussion and talk about the performances of Joe Mazzello and Ariana Richards.
Where's Loisos when you need him?
God,
kids in danger, about to be eaten. Dude, they put these kids through. They put these kids through extreme hell to the point where my favorite moment in the film, we see the T-Rex come up. We saw it in the trailers before it came out, and she's looking at them through the window with her eye, and the eye dilates and then goes back, and then she attacks them from the top of the car. Now, of course, that was great planning on the whoever decided to make the cars have the giant sunroof.
Yep.
Well, let's make it like that so the T-Rex can come down and but literally it's still scary because when you see that, Nick, it's the whole animatronic head coming down and biting with teeth, and it looks real. And how scary is that as a kid? And when I saw the film, I think I was maybe roughly a year older than the age that Timmy's supposed to be in the film. So how fucking scary is that? It's insane.
You know what I love about this scene? And this is, just when I watched it again last week, it still brings you to the edge of your seat. It still has, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. Like, I know that they're going to be okay and I know what's going to happen here, but it's so well shot. And the performances, I cannot say enough here how great the performances of Ariana Richards and Joe Mazzello are in this thing. Who I actually decided, I took a look into Ariana Richards because Joe Mazzello's had a great career. He was in The Social Network. He was in The Pacific. He's going to be in the Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, this year. Like, he's had a great career as an adult. Ariana Richards fell off the face of the earth. She only did a couple other things after this, and then
she did Tremors before this. She did do Tremors,
but other than that, like, she hasn't acted. She doesn't really act anymore. She's just an artist now, which, I mean, fine, whatever. But both of the kids, I think, and in this scene, and we'll talk about others later on in the film, but they are amazing in how well they sell the realism and the terror and the fear of these moments in the film. That's why, like, it still makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and it still makes you, like, kind of your knuckles will tense up on the couch cushions and whatever, and you'll be like, a little bit, you'll just be like, it's so engaging, it's so perfectly shot, it's so masterfully done, and you're exactly right. Perfect blend of CGI elements and animatronics. It
was back before they had to use all CG. They knew that whatever they could
We
get
had
on
a tennis
camera,
ball and a stick. Yeah, there was no mocap suits or anything.
they're like, whatever we can get in camera, we're going to get it on camera. And I wish we would still get that because, dude, I'm telling you right now, even though there's those moments where this is a little tidbit of behind the scenes stuff, and I know any Jurassic Park fan knows this, when they built the animatronic T-Rex, Stan Winston, the icon, rest in peace, when he decided to make the T-Rex the way they made him, they said this thing was never built to be in the rain. But when it got to the point of filming it, Spielberg wanted it in the rain. He said, "Oh, Stan, it's going to look so much better in the rain. The atmosphere, you won't be able to totally see all the T-Rex, so it'll add a little bit of a layer of mystique behind it." He's like, "I didn't make this thing to be in the rain." You can see it jerks a little bit. The head jerks a little bit weird in some of the scenes. It's because they had to, like, in between takes, they had to go and wipe the whole thing off and get it dry and blow it dry with fans. And then when they started to shoot again, then to get it wet. This thing's got, hydraulics in it. It's not meant to be wet. But it perfectly blends that. Like, the animatronics in those scenes, that's what I love about it. Like, would I love it as much as I do without those animatronics? Probably not, because they're beautifully done. When you see the full-size Tyrannosaurus Rex, the images of that thing, still to this day, you're in awe. Because you're like, that's a T-Rex. There it is. I could talk about this scene forever because it's my favorite in the film because, I mean, literally...
There's still so much more. There's still so much more to unpack in this film. And I want to get into... I love this film. And I rate this film a 10 out of 10. I don't want anybody to make any bones about that. I absolutely love this film. It is a masterpiece. But Jesus Christ, there are some things about this film that are just dumb.
Well, people have to make dumb decisions in order for hijinks to ensue, don't they?
I mean, number one.
People are dumb, man.
Fucking Nedry. Like, I mean, again, he's meant to be dumb and cartoonish. I get it. And Wayne Knight sells it perfectly. Wayne Knight is great in the scenes. But number one, there's no way that dinosaur gets up around him and into the fucking Jeep or anything else. It doesn't happen.
The Dilophosaurus is quick.
Get out of here.
It can jump up there.
Get out of here. It's a great scene. It spits the acid at him and stuff. And that, of course, was one of the no-show dinosaurs that we got earlier where they were talking about it, just kind of foreshadowed it. Great. It's fine. But there's no way that realistically happens in the scene. And then we get the scene. They're like, all right, we're going to turn off all the lights. We're going to turn off everything. So now I refuse to believe that the power system at Jurassic Park had never been tested to the point where they were like, what happens if we have a total system shutdown? And the breakers never tripped. So nobody was like, hey, why don't we just shut off all the breakers so we can reset the system? Okay. I'm going to go out to the breaker shed, the maintenance shed, other side. Number one, why is the main power switch not in the same shed? Why is it way the fuck in the visitors compound?
Next to the raptors?
It's out past the fucking raptor fence in the goddamn fucking jungle. Why? Why isn't the main switch out there? And why would you not have somebody go out there to be like, oh, hey, just so you know, this big switch, like they have to have tested it, right? Maybe they didn't. The film never tells us whether or not they did. I just have to believe that with all of the safety checks that they theoretically did in the film, they had to have. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. But send somebody out to the fucking thing. If the breakers trip, hey, prime this lever and flip them all back on really quick, especially that one that says Raptors on it. Like, why is the main power switch to shut off all the power in the visitor center, but then the breakers and everything are over in a fucking shed way on the other side of the compound?
Well, because the story requires it to be that way, Nick. That's
why.
There
are things like that in the film where I forgive it. I don't care. I still love this movie, but like, come on.
It gives me one of my favorite scenes because it's the first time we see full-size raptor.
Yeah.
And I love, and make no mistake, the T-Rex is the hero of the film in the sense because when you see her, you want to see more of her, but you do see more of her. And Spielberg changed the whole ending based on that after he saw the finished film. But the raptors are the true villains of this movie. I know why James Cameron, when he got his hands on this script, bid as high as he could to get this script to direct it because he knew what he could do with it after doing Aliens, but Spielberg already got the bid and did the film. Not sure if those fans out there listening know that or not, but Cameron wanted to make Jurassic Park and he wanted to make it a hard R rating, and he almost had it, but Spielberg took it in front of him. So those raptors, though, man, the design of them, even though they're not actually accurate to the way that the raptors looked or anything like that.
I believe, And this is actually a fun tidbit that I read about this film, because I always thought that this was an afterthought way after the fact. This was something that actually happened like before. Like they knew, like Spielberg knew.
It happened during it. It happened during it.
Well, it was
Utah
even before.
raptor?
It was even before. Like they knew, like that the dinosaur that they were calling a raptor wasn't a raptor. Like Deinonychus or whatever is the actual name of it. But they were like, no, we're going to call it a raptor because that's a cooler sounding name. Like, but they knew that the dinosaur that they were calling a raptor wasn't really a raptor. Like they knew it even then, but they wanted the Velociraptor's a way cooler name than Deinonychus or whatever the hell it is. But I was actually reading that. I actually thought that was really, it's really interesting.
Well, they had Jack Warner
that,
on set, and they had him as a consultant who was a huge American paleontologist that literally told them what you can do, what you can't do, and they're going to take creative license.
They have to.
And I'm glad they did, because I don't care. Like, I get it. And our resident kaiju expert, Robert Moreno, he's probably going to shit on us a little bit for this, because he loves making sure to correct people when, you know, they when they're wrong about the way dinosaurs looked. But for me, like, I'm glad even throughout the sequels, they haven't changed the dinosaurs so much, because
conscious decision in the screenwriting to say 6-foot turkey. Because in real life, in truth, velociraptors were about the size of turkeys. I have to believe that was a tongue-in-cheek thing in there. I've never found anything that corroborates that, but I have to believe that that's why they put that in there.
I mean, the design of the creatures and the way they moved, because there's 3 different versions of the raptors. There is the animatronic heads with the arms. There is the guys that were in full body suits. And then there was the CGI versions. But the scene you're referring to, Nick, and I get that it is basically an excuse to get Allie over there to turn the power back on. Let's face it,
it's an excuse to bring the Raptors into the film. You knew when and we got to talk about Bob Peck as Muldoon, also amazing in this film. Absolutely fantastic. But ever since the beginning of this, you have Grant, he's digging up raptors, and then he finds out that they bred raptors. And then he goes and meets Muldoon, and they're talking about how smart the raptors are. So you know the raptors are going to play a role.
You know, they build it up perfectly.
Yeah,
they build it up, so you know they're going to come at some point.
And same thing.
And then when you finally
see talked about it with the T-Rex, and we talked about it with everything else, but it's the build-up. The build-up. You don't get to see a full raptor until like 3/4 of the way through this film.
And when you do, it's that perfect moment Spielberg times it, because he knows how to get a jump scare. He did it in Jaws. How many years before that? When Ellie's like all happy because the power is turned on, John Williams' score is all positive and happy. It's like an uplifting part of the score. And then all of a sudden you hear the screech, that dolphin screech that they use for the sound effect for the raptor. And then you see the clock about the head sticks right through behind her. Literally, when I was a kid, I closed my eyes, so I was so scared, dude. Yeah. And even now, like sitting on my couch watching it, it still hits you, dude. Yeah. It's still perfectly timed.
It's amazingly effective, dude. Amazingly effective. And then, of course, you have the whole scene where can we for a moment, just for a quick moment here, talk about how hot 1983 Laura Dern is? Just especially, she progressively.
Did you say 83 again?
I said 93 that time. I swear, I might not have. Whatever. She gets progressively hotter throughout the film.
She does, but she's never. Here's the thing about
she's never a damsel in distress, though, which is what I love about her. She's never a damsel in distress. She's an incredibly strong character.
Even though it's the early 90s, they do play with the whole, like, you know, when Hammond says
sexism in survival situations. Yep.
It should be me. And then, so they play a little bit off of that. I mean, it's still the early 90s, so I know that that's still kind of an early concept at the time. But she's never like an object. She does get definitely sexier, but she's never utilized as that, like, she could have easily been this super babe where she's like, her shirt's ripped and she's got super cleavage. Like, she doesn't get hotter. She's got the short shorts and everything, but she's a very smart character
in that direction.
And it's Spielberg, dude. It's very rarely does he ever do that in that way. He doesn't ever show a woman for, sometimes he does, but not to that extent that a lot of other filmmakers would have, exploited that.
I love how strong of a character she is. I really, really do. But then, of course, so we have her. She gets back to the visitor center, and then there's this really, I love the scene. They Grant and the kids, they get back to the visitor center, and then he leaves the kids, and he goes, and then there's just a random scene of him outside yelling her name for whatever reason. Why he would go outside and be yelling her name doesn't make any sense, but whatever. The film's got to get us to a climax. And Spielberg was probably like, all right, just throw him outside and have him yell her name. She runs up, they hug, and we go back inside. It doesn't make any sense why he would all of a sudden, he's going to bring them inside and then he's going to go outside and specifically just yell her name. Like, it doesn't even make sense. But anyway, then we have the kids. The kids are eating. And then once again, I got to talk about the amazing performances of the kids here.
The Jello.
Ariana Richards is holding the Jello.
Yeah.
First, we have Tim, and Joe Mazzello's really happy. He's eating. He's really happy, and then he locks eyes with her. And the way that her expression changes in the film, like she's smiling, and then the immediate, just like all of the like happiness drains from her, and then like the fear, and then the spoon with the Jello on it just shaking. And then you see
the raptor silhouette over the painting of the raptor on the wall.
It like
pure menace immediately.
God damn, dude. I'm getting chills just fucking thinking about like half of these scenes, dude. That's how iconic, that's how great these scenes are to watch.
Oh. Nothing else like it, dude. Literally nothing else like it since or before it. And again, it's a testament to Spielberg. We can just keep going back to that. But I feel like any other filmmaker, I'm not saying Cameron couldn't have made a similar movie, but it wouldn't have had the balance because he literally wanted to make it hard R-rated. They would have been more monsters like his xenomorphs and aliens. And make no mistake, the raptors are monsters, but that's how carnivorous animals may react to certain situations like that. Now, make no mistake, the raptors are out on the hunt to eat these people and to scare them. And we do get to the point where, yes, they mention, well, we're okay as long as they don't know how to open doors.
Yeah.
And there's that whole thing where, but I
again,
really don't have a problem with
earlier. Muldoon says
they do.
Problem-solving intelligence, when they're testing the fences to try to check it for weaknesses and things like that. The thing I'll say about this film, and because I've seen all the sequels to this film, and because I know where all the sequels for this film are going, until you get to Jurassic World, where they legitimately genetically create a monster, the dinosaurs in this film, even the raptors, who definitely veer into movie monster territory more so than anything else, nothing in this film, and I feel like it's because of everything that came before it, none of the dinosaurs feel like movie monsters to me, and I feel like that's a testament to the film's greatness. I feel like Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, immediately veers into that territory, and I think that that's to its detriment. I think that that's one of the reasons why that film is not as successful and not as good as this one is. Like I said, the raptors definitely, I think you're right. I agree that they have more of that than any other thing, but I still feel like nothing in this film is overtly a movie monster. I don't think, anyway. Even though raptors,
it does have the movie monster moments.
They definitely get the moments. You're right. I think they get the moments, but I don't.
But they're portrayed as real animals, though.
Yeah, that's because you've seen nothing but an hour and a half of dinosaurs just basically being dinosaurs doing their dinosaur thing.
That dinosaur thing.
You get to the final half an hour, so the movie monster moments don't pull you out of it because they easily could have if they would have went too far with it. But nonetheless, I don't even know. We didn't even talk about Sam Jackson as Arnold in this film.
We didn't talk about the guy that I didn't even tell you, that I didn't even announce to you yet, that I'm going to meet and get a photo op with in August in Boston. Yeah, I'm doing it. I don't care. We got the reservation. I'm doing it. Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. We didn't really even get into that character.
That's true. How could we have gone this long in a Jurassic Park retrospective and not seriously had a discussion about Dr. Ian Malcolm? I don't even know.
He is the rock star of the bunch. He is that kind of hipster-esque type of scientist that is still a thing now.
He's the cool character as opposed to your
guy,
nerdy paleontologists like Grant and Ellie.
Well, Grant is very, very reserved. He's an introvert. You can tell that from the beginning. Yep. He doesn't want kids. He's very comfortable with his digging and his passion for that. And with Ellie, but other than that, like, he's not good with technology. And Malcolm is this guy that's like this kind of really outlandish extrovert, like, of course, who likes to get laid a lot. We get the impression that Malcolm has had many wives and has many kids because he is this debonair, like, well, we know. We
He's always
we get
on
the
lookout
iconic
for
shot
a future
with
ex-Mrs. Malcolm.
Of course, we see him with that iconic shot, which is like the meme king of all time on social media, with him with the shirt off and beefcake, baby.
My favorite version of that meme is where they take Grant on the Triceratops' stomach and they photoshopped it over Jeff Goldblum without his shirt on. That's my favorite.
But yeah, Goldblum,
he has all the lines.
Is a
he
given.
Has every single line in this movie that you remember. All the dialogue, every single piece of it is Jeff Goldblum.
And I guess, yeah, it is because Spielberg actually came out and said that a lot of it was just improv. That they threw him in a room and a lot of it just came out of them being great actors in a room, and just whatever they came up with is what came out in the film.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it at all. It's a testament to how great Goldblum is in this role. I mean, his star would fade for a while after he was in The Lost World and everything like that. But Jeff Goldblum's always just been one of those people, one of those actors that just has his little career pockets where he's huge and where everybody loves him and he's this great guy and everybody, like, obviously he's in a resurgence right now. He's going to be in Jurassic World 2. He was in Thor Ragnarok and everything. But I love him. I absolutely love him in this role. He's one of the things, when you think Jurassic Park, Justin, he's one of the things that most defines it. Life finds a way, is one of the quotes. When Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. You know?
Yeah, he's got all the great lines. He's got all the iconic
every
lines.
single iconic line in this film is an Ian Malcolm line. It really, really is.
But it is crazy to think,
chaos.
though, when you watch this movie, to think that Samuel L. Jackson was not a bona fide star at this point. This is before Pulp
This is
Fiction.
such a quiet role for him. It's just such a quiet, like, almost nuanced kind of role. Well, okay, not every single line of dialogue in this film that's iconic is Ian Malcolm, because hold on to your butts. That's definitely one of them.
That is one of them. You didn't see the magic word. And this is back when in a movie you could have a character chain smoking, because that's all Samuel L. Jackson fucking does. Literally every scene. Time. I mean, we both used to be smokers. Let's be honest here on the show. Okay, we both used to smoke cigarettes. Dude, the cigarettes in his mouth, they're like at the end of like burning out, and I'm like, dude, I can just feel that burning your lip.
Yep.
Every single scene, all those close-ups, but he's so good in the movie. Like, I feel like
program grade.
I can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry. You know, like he does his best.
Fine, Nedry. Check the vending machines.
But he does it. His fate we don't see. We do see a part of him later in the film.
We can guess what happened to him.
Guess. Yeah, but it is back in that let's just bring it out. I know a lot of people will probably reference this. Well, that's why they sent the black guy to go get eaten first. I'm sure there's going to be people that say, hey, he is the only black guy on the island, right? Am I right?
I mean, true. But he also, like, runs Jurassic Park.
Basically.
So,
with Dennis Nedry.
And he's amazing, and we love him. I love this movie. I love everything about this movie. It like I said, even the flubs, even the stupid little plot points that I could call out and be like, that's bullshit or whatever. I don't care. It's still amazing enough. Everything that's great about this movie is so great that it overshadows any possible weaknesses that this film might have. And that is what separates it, I feel, from its far, far, far inferior sequels. And we'll talk about those. Like I said, we're going to do a special mini-sode where we talk about all of those. But any final word you want to throw in here on Jurassic Park before we run out on this into another break?
What's there to say about Jurassic Park that hasn't already been said?
Yeah.
It's literally one of the biggest classics that people of our age group love and adore, got a chance to see in the theaters, owned it on every format, and will continue to own it on every format and continue to watch it as our kids grow up, as their kids grow up. It's just going to be that movie that we hold near and dear to our hearts. Yeah. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours talking about this movie.
I feel like it would literally just be us acting out the movie at that point.
I loved the score by John Williams. You're totally correct that it's one of his best scores. The cinematography by Dean Cundy doesn't get talked about a lot, but it is amazing. It's very organic. It feels very real.
Every single thing about this, the
Stan Winston's animatronics, literally everything. Like, you wouldn't have this movie without every little piece of the puzzle that connected to it.
Brilliant. The only thing, and I'll say one thing in this film is insanely dated. It is the computer scene. The computer
Of
scene.
Course. Well, come on.
Well,
Come on. There's no way to
the early
speculate with that.
90s. And like
I know.
the great thing is like they show Nedry's desk and there's a whole box full of computer discs on his desks and shit.
You know what, Nick? One thing that most people don't notice, and it's a little Easter egg that Spielberg put in there, and I just noticed it for the first time because of the Ultra 4K. Do you know what movie's playing on Nedry's second screen to his left?
No.
Jaws. It's on the screen. It's not full screen on the screen, but it's a little small window he has up. He's watching Jaws.
I never noticed that before either.
Well, I only noticed that on the Ultra 4K, but like I said, literally take Dean Cundy's cinematography, Stan Winston's amazing animatronics and effects, and ILM with their groundbreaking, revolutionary CGI. We can't. Dennis Muren, who basically pigeonholed this whole project and came in and took it away from Phil Tippett, who was the stop-go motion animator who was set to do this movie. They was originally supposed to do this movie with stop motion, with go motion dinosaurs. And when Dennis Muren came in and said, well, look what we did with T2, well, let's see if we can make dinosaurs. It changed the face of filmmaking forever. Now, whether you think it's for the good or bad is up to you, but this movie set the bar. You can't ever replace it. It's a masterpiece. It's a classic.
And even
it's
to talk about,
Park.
the sounds for the Dinosaur Skywalker sound, did the post and did the mix on this. It's every single aspect of this production from top to bottom. Everybody brought better than their A game. And that's why this film is... It's one of those films that will always stand the test of time. It's one of those films that will always be a mark of its era. Like when you think of film in the early 90s, you think of Jurassic Park. But there's no two ways about it. Every single... I mean, literally, there are people out there that maybe necessarily don't care for this film as much and think that maybe we're just really sucking its dick way, way too hard. And I get that. Like some people are just like that, that we love cock. I didn't say that. You didn't see my lips move, right?
I don't know if I did or not.
God damn it. I swear I didn't say that.
You may have said that, but it's true, though. Just appreciate it, if anything.
We just love it.
I understand you have to appreciate it because we wouldn't have what we have now. Again, I'm going to say it again, for better or for worse, without Jurassic Park. So there it is,
Standing on the shoulders of greatness. And there it is. That's
exactly.
That was a long-ass retrospective on the first Jurassic Park film, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're going to run into a quick break, and we're not done yet tonight. We've got some epic previews for you.
We'll be right back.
Do you enjoy blood, being scared, or the dark underbelly of cinema? If you do, prepare your eardrums for pure terror. And join us every week on Epic Film Guy's B-Sides, where we talk about the things that go bump in the night, the stuff nightmares are made of. Join us if you dare.
Coming to theaters this October.
We do get some fan mail for the list, but basically just people telling us that they love him.
It will take over.
He's not normal.
There's nothing to worry about.
When you least expect it.
You're gonna be just fine.
Who knows, man? He might just become me.
I think he and I would do a great show together.
I want to up your fucking ass so bad.
Everybody can really sink their teeth into it.
Dude, it's all him.
I'm your #1 fan.
Keep doing it, please.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
He's dead.
He's dead?
The medication's working great, and honestly, I feel like, if I stay sober...
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
He's not going to come out at all. So I don't know why you're bringing any of that up.
You can't run.
He's becoming an entity all to himself. He's making things happen the way he wants them to happen.
You can't hide.
He's being whatever he wants to be.
From...
Justin's list.
The list.
You sick fucks. You've seen way too many movies.
This film is not yet rated.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Epic
My
Film
girlfriend
Guys
sucked
podcast.
37 dicks.
In a row?
We can't go one episode without things going down that dirty little hole of yours,
I
Nick.
didn't do anything with phallic objects last night.
Well,
I'm sure Dan did, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He says that.
Real quick,
says that.
we just got done talking about the original Jurassic Park. I did a little poll, a little mini poll on our Instagram, and I asked our followers on there, are you excited for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? And today the first reactions of the film came out and the Rotten Tomatoes score and everything. And out of over 75 people, 75% said yes and 25% said no. So far, people are interested in watching more dino-tastic action adventures, Nick.
Go fuck yourself.
Of course I will
Who
not.
invited that goddamn frog in here? God.
The damn frog. Frogs, I know that they used frog DNA interjected with the dino DNA to create those dinosaurs, but that doesn't make you any more important on the show, Epic Film Frog.
Yeah, a woman
Get the hell out of here.
These kinds of things.
And now we got her in here. We can't get rid of the fucking frog. Now we got a pig in here. Gonzo's going to show up before long. We're going to have the whole fucking Muppet Show in here.
God damn it. Does that mean we have to buy the rights from Disney? Don't they own the rights right now?
I don't know. Let's hope not. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a few trailers to talk about. That's right. We're getting a full show this week. We're going to be talking about some trailers and a little segment we like to call
Epic Previews. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. There it is.
In the world of Endicott, New York and Herndon, Virginia, two epic film guys dissect the latest movie trailers in a segment we like to call Epic Previews.
right in here on the first trailer that landed this week that didn't really cause as much of a stir as I hoped that it would, because it is, yes, another remake, a remake of another classic film. Though the original is not really, I wouldn't say it's highly regarded by most general movie lovers. It is to cult movie fans and especially horror fans. We're talking about the remake of Dario Argento's Suspiria, which is an Italian horror film from 1977, one of my personal favorites, that of which Nick has never seen, but we should not be surprised if you listen to the show. It's okay. Oh, the thing about this trailer is, I loved this trailer, Nick. The reason why I loved this trailer is because they're doing their own thing with the basic concept, okay? The basic concept of Suspiria is a young American dancer travels to Europe to perfect her dancing in a dance academy. Once she gets there, dark shit starts happening, and there's basically a whole plot that involves witches, and some really scary situations occur. And as Lysos likes to say, hijinks ensue. The original Suspiria is one of the most beautiful, thought-provoking horror films ever made. And I think that when you watch it, Nick, you may get that out of it. There is a lot of nonsense that occurs in it, and it's not all totally practical in the sense of what the story's supposed to be, because a lot of giallo films, or a lot of Italian horror films of their time, don't necessarily make as much sense as we would like them to. But they do look beautiful, especially Dario Argento's films. And I feel like the original Suspiria is a masterpiece. So when I heard they were going to remake it, I said, well, as long as they do their own thing with it. And they got a great director, Luca Guadagnino, who is an Italian, born and raised, to direct it. And he's doing his own thing with it. We've got some great names in there. Dakota Johnson.
Hell of a cast.
Tilda Swinton. I mean, literally, Chloe Grace Moretz, among others. I really was blown away by this trailer. I can't say so much about the poster. Who the hell is designing your guys' posters? Seriously. But it seems like it's very much like the original in the sense that it has great suspense. It's claustrophobic. It's losing the aesthetic look of Argento's film, which I think it kind of needs to do, because in this day and age, fans either complain that things are too much like the original or they're not enough like it. And I like the fact that they're going in there and they're doing their own thing, where this film looks like it has a 1970s aesthetic as far as how it's filmed, but it's very cold. There's no colors at all. It's very washed out.
Yeah, everything was kind of muted in the trailer, yeah.
That and the original film, Nick, sports one of the most iconic horror scores of all time by the iconic band Goblin, which literally I could just sing it in my head. And in this case, they're not going that same route. They've got Radiohead singer Tom York who's composing the score, and I really like what I'm hearing of the score so far. It definitely still feels like Suspiria, but it's its own thing, and that's really what I wanted out of the movie. So far, it looks like it's dark as fucking shit. They did actually screen some footage of it at CinemaCon, where I'm not going to spoil too much of it for you guys out there listening that didn't read this information, but there's a scene that involves a dancer where she's held in midair and all of her bones start breaking, and while people are puking and her fluids are falling out of her in front of everyone, it's done very realistically. Yes. Please count me the fuck in.
So they really broke somebody's bones and made them show up.
Based on what I've heard, it actually caused audience members to leave the theater because it was so graphic and so disturbing. And I mean, we hear that a lot with movies, but in this case, I know it for a fact because there were people there that I know that were actually there viewing it. But like, again, if you're going to do a remake, we talk about it all the time on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Do your own thing with it.
Make it your
the
own
basic
thing,
concept
and make it good.
Exactly.
Make it good. Make a good movie. In the end, what do we care about, Justin? Whether you make a good movie, whether we are entertained or whether we are just tamed.
Give me good characters. Entertain me. In this case, scare the shit out of me. Make me feel uncomfortable. Because the one thing about the original Suspiria is it's unnerving. It's definitely uncomfortable, and it's very atmospheric. Argento is one of the best horror directors of all time.
Definitely has the unnerving vibe, because I've no idea anything about the original film or anything like that. I just know that Justin loves it. But when I watched this trailer, I am super uneasy and kind of unnerved watching it. It really, really is very effective in that regard. Really,
so this film is scheduled to be released early November this year by Amazon Studios, who's been on a roll the past couple of years.
Manchester.
So is this a movie, Nick, that you'll plan on seeing this?
Of course I will. Yeah. You definitely know I will. I don't know if I'll get a chance to check out the original before then. Maybe I should for a special B-side.
Ooh, are you finally going to come over to the dark side?
Maybe I'll have to. If I see it for the first time, I think I almost have to. Yeah, I've got the evil Justin laughing here. That was a perfect opportunity to play it, but I was all stuck on the Miss Piggy sound effects.
I did it for you. It's okay, I did it for you.
No, I still have it anyway.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
I put the filter on this one and slowed it down a little bit, so it sounds.
That's me sober, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I sound when I'm actually sober and I've had no beer. So I don't know if I'm scary when I'm sober or drunk. I haven't heard what he thought of this trailer, but we are very highly anticipating it as well.
What he thinks, because I know he loves his horror. So
yeah. So there's that for Suspiria. I can't wait for it. I think the trailer looked fantastic. Do your own thing if you're going to do a remake. But
definitely
jumping on to a movie that I never thought that I'd have any interest in seeing. Nick, what am I talking about here?
I will say this, and it just watching the trailer again before this segment to talk about it. I never thought watching a Transformers trailer would give me chills, man.
Just hearing the name,
excited. I know. All you think about when you think about Transformers is big, giant wrecking ball testicles and racist robots, and just generally just a clusterfuck of just visual noise. But fortunately, Michael Bay is nowhere near the director's chair on this one, and we are of course talking about Bumblebee, which is a prequel, I think. Yeah, it is a prequel, detailing obviously Bumblebee, his life as a Volkswagen Beetle. I already said it on the Facebook page earlier today, Justin, but I loved this fucking trailer. This trailer looks fucking great. This movie looks fucking great. I love the design of the character. I love that you don't hear any of that constant stereo shifting for him to use the stereo as his voice in the film. I love that there at least appears that there's going to be a portion of this film where he's going to be just completely silent. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Let me tell you something. A driver don't pick the car. Car pick the driver. It's a mystical bond between man and machine. It's a mystical bond between man and machine.
You know what sold me on this trailer immediately, Nick? I have one thing to say.
Motherfucking Starscream.
It's motherfucking Rick motherfucking Astley, motherfucker. Dude. Even though he spits the tape out. I'm never going to let it go either. Seriously, I liked this trailer. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
great trailer. Super.
But
this.
I'm weary though. I'm still weary because I don't.
Well, yeah. You have to be. You have to be with this franchise.
Okay, we've been burned many times. We are known. We are actually. That's one of the biggest things we're known for. Is the Transformers franchise on this show.
Still
Nick.
got the death threats.
Death threats. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet from it. But I mean, watching this trailer, it does feel different, even though it still looks kind of like a Transformers movie. One thing stands out immediately. Haley Steinfeld, which I know the sauce loves, she looks really endearing in the movie. She looks interesting to look at and like a different kind of character, even though she's probably playing a very similar character that Shia LaBeouf played. That kind of fish out of water, like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm seeing this giant robot in front of me. But this film does take place in the year 1987, which is another great thing. And Travis Knight, the director, has a very interesting aesthetic. He actually directed the Kubo and the Two Strings, and I did not see that, but a lot of fans of animated pictures
I've heard
said it was fantastic.
A lot of great things about that movie, yes.
Which was stop motion animation mixed with
Yeah.
CG animation. So I think it's an interesting person to get involved with something like this. He was nominated for 2 Oscars before for animation. So he knows what he's doing behind the camera in that sense. So we'll see what happens. I mean, for me, like, I just recently watched the episode. You're probably not a fan of this show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us. It's all about toys. They just released their 2nd season on Netflix, and they have a whole episode on Transformers. And I grew up with Transformers, the cartoon, the original movie. And in the early 90s, they had like a resurgence. So I love Transformers. But then when the movies came out, well, go back and listen to our old episodes and you'll hear what I'm talking about. But
Go
I mean,
back
with
and
this,
watch our video review of
the one
Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction.
Legitimately, how you can make a 3-hour movie about robots blowing each other up boring, I don't know. But Michael Bay, damned if he did. He went out there and he found the keys and the secret to that formula, and he fuck you, Michael Bay.
Well, he almost ruined the modern blockbuster in a sense, but that's something we should talk about in a whole other
Visual
episode all
noise,
to itself.
Incomprehensible plots and everything. But
I mean,
it doesn't look to me, anyway, it doesn't look to me like this film is going to make those same mistakes, because what I'll tell you is this film immediately, all it focuses on is the characters.
One of the characters, I can't see him, Nick. Like, I can't see him at all.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all either, but apparently John Cena's in this film. Where he is in the trailer, I have no idea. He looks like he might kind of just be, filling in that just stock typical military guy that just happens to be in these Transformers films. Tyrese Gibson, obviously, in
and it looks like
the last 5 of them or whatever.
Iconic
Josh Duhamel. Yep.
Martin Short is going to be voicing Bumblebee in this.
That's genius casting.
It is, and I actually just recently watched, going back to Netflix again. We should have had no, not Dan. We can't have Dan on. Have Caleb on. Dan's on here enough.
I didn't do anything with phallic objects last night.
I just
really
recently
watched
he has to keep jumping in
the
here
Martin
with that.
Short Steve Martin comedy special that they just put on Netflix. And
I'm
I thought
down
it
on
was actually
Netflix
pretty
right
good.
now at the moment. Not to get off on too big of a tangent about it, but I watched all of Arrested Development season 5, and I really wish I hadn't.
Quiet. I'm only on episode 4, and I'm actually not that bad. I'm not feeling the way you're feeling about it so far.
Yeah.
So let's.
You will.
No. Well, Bumblebee, Transformers.
Damn.
Yes, but no.
I loved this trailer. To get back to it,
it looks fun. I will see it. It's coming out on Christmas, so we've got some time. It's weird. It's a weird place to put it, but there's no Star Wars movie this year at Christmas.
Fucking Starscream, baby. Starscream!
I know, dude. That
easily
aspect looks good.
My favorite Decepticon ever.
If they make it more contained and there's only a couple of them, it'll be cooler because it won't be so much of a visual.
That's all
mess.
They have to do is just make a small story. Make a small story like all these Transformers movies should have been, and what Spielberg intended for them to be when he first set out to make a movie about a boy in his car in the first Transformers film, which I don't even think that film necessarily accomplishes. Hopefully this will get right what that film got wrong, and all the subsequent sequels literally this visual noise. That's all they are. Just fucking visual noise. The most incomprehensible nonsense of all time.
At this point in time, though, it is a franchise that it's on its way out. We've realized that with the most previous film, which we talked about.
They removed the sixth film from the release schedule.
They did.
Yep.
So I mean, they know it's a dying breed, so to speak, in the franchise that we have.
On Bumblebee to see if it can reinvigorate it. Maybe.
I'd be cool with it if it did. I'd be totally cool with a little revamp. Like, Transformers is a huge franchise. It's a worldwide franchise that everyone knows in every country. China eats this shit up. They love these movies. I'd love to see a return to form for it. Bring it on. Like, I'm totally cool if they reboot this franchise. And if Bumblebee's the way to do that, count me in. I thought the trailer looked pretty decent. It looks fun enough. I'll be seeing it.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Absolutely fantastic. And that is pretty much going to bring things to a close for us here on the Epic Film Guys podcast for this week. Now, next week coming up, I don't remember. What do we got coming up next week?
Next week, we're going to get the sauce on to talk Hereditary. That's right. He's got to come on. I'm going to force him on. I'm going to get
a review of what the hell did you see?
I saw Upgrade. I will not have the opportunity to do a full review of this film, but I did have an opportunity this last week to see Lee Winnell's Upgrade, the new Blumhouse picture. That's right, the same company doing the new Halloween film. They've been on a roll lately the past couple of years, and I gotta tell you, if you're a fan of sci-fi action films, bloody, gory, fun, go see Upgrade. Go support this movie because I had an absolute blast with this movie. You're going to see some awesome kills, the likes of which you never see in the cinema in 2018. It just does not happen. It's fun. It's a cool little fun, different riff on the sci-fi action genre. And they do it all with such a small budget. And it just goes to show that a studio like Blumhouse can produce great, fun action pictures with little to no money. Definitely recommend it. I wish I had the opportunity to do a full review, but the fight scenes in this movie, think The Matrix meets John Wick with a sci-fi twist. You're going to see blood, you're going to see guts, you're going to see knives, you're going to see people get the shit stabbed out of them, and you're going to see a lot of great jokes in between. And some dark shit, too. Pretty dark shit. Like really dark shit. Yeah. Go see Upgrade. Highly recommend it. I wish I had a chance to do a full review, but not right now because we just overloaded this episode.
I did not get a chance to see it. I don't even think it's playing around here, to be honest.
It was great, man.
Oh, it is.
Honestly, like
it is playing here.
In the in this world that we've had John Wick, and we have to thank John Wick for bringing the action picture back to the forefront. We're getting movies. We're actually allowed to get pictures like Lee Winnell's, who's known for directing Insidious Chapter 3. He's the one that wrote Dead Silence, Insidious. Like, he's a great creative mind. We're able to get these movies with these up-and-comers and their creative visions and just have a blast with them. And Upgrade was just literally a breath of fresh air for the sci-fi genre. And I love my low-budget pictures, and that's why I love Blumhouse, and that's why I have full... Blumhouse, are you listening? Shockwaves, are you listening? I know you're not. But
they are.
I have
They definitely are.
I have full confidence
I got this
in
shit
Halloween.
We're good.
So, but no, go see it if you have not. I'm not going to give a rating because I did not give a full review, but check it out if you have not the opportunity to. Go support low-budget, independent cinema. Check out Upgrade.
Please definitely do. It won't open anywhere near me. I really, really wish it would, but I would love to see the Mr. Rogers documentary that's opening up this week.
It's playing here. It is playing here.
It's not playing around here. I already know it's not. I'm actually looking through ticket times right now to kind of see what there's nothing. I'm not going to see anything for next week. So it'll be Justin and the Sauce tackling the review. But then the week after, Justin is going to be away. He's going to be taking a week off from the show because he has been talking about it for weeks on the goddamn show. He was even drinking Narragansett last week.
No. This is a different trip.
Oh, that's a different thing. Never mind. Okay. Justin, you go so many fucking trips. I can't even keep track of you.
I'm dropping my kid off. I'm dropping my kid in New Jersey, where we do every year. We're going to Long Beach Island. I'm going to that oyster bar.
Yep.
And I'm going to that goddamn oyster bar. And no, my trip to Amity Island, Martha's Vineyard, is not till late July, but I'll be seeing you before I go there. I'll be stopping in to see you.
I can't even fucking pin you down anymore. I don't even know where you go, what you do. I don't even keep track.
I don't even remember.
I am
just
not
so
at
drunk,
all. Even though I've heard, especially JD from In Session Film already gave an extremely positive reaction to Ocean's 8. Doesn't interest me. I'm sorry. Hereditary, I don't even know what the hell that is, so good on you guys. I'll let you guys handle that.
No, you're seeing it. You're seeing it. If you get it, you're seeing it.
Well, it's playing up here. It is playing up here. I don't know what it is, though. What is it?
Go see it. Go see it. I told you it's a horror movie. Damn it. Is that enough?
God, horror movie. God.
They're saying it's the scariest horror picture since The Exorcist.
I'm sure it is.
Please go see it.
Wow, 90 on Metacritic right now, though. God,
yeah, dude, literally good.
Damn.
Very, very,
I
very.
really just want to see that Mr. Rogers documentary, though, but it'll never open anywhere around here, so I'll have to wait until it comes on Netflix like 6 months from now.
I get it next week, but I have to choose between that and something else.
I hate you. But then, yeah, Justin will be gone on his trip, so we'll have a co-host or co-hosts. I put the word out on the Twitter sphere earlier to literally everyone that we know, including members of our former Podfix network. Yes, the Epic Film guys are no longer a member of the Podfix network. God damn it. When will Metallica end?
Sorry,
God.
man. James Hetfield made his way on the podcast.
God damn it, Hetfield.
They
Get
just
out of
have
here.
to make money everywhere.
But we have no ill will toward anybody in the Podfix network. We absolutely love all of the amazing shows that are part of it. Definitely still recommend you go to podfixnetwork.com and check out all of those amazing shows. I know they've just added a couple more in the wake of ourselves and a few other shows left the network. But yeah, it was just time for us to step out and just go back to doing our own thing. Go back to doing what EFG does best. And I feel like that's just being EFG. And, you know, we were this way for a good long while. And it was really, really fun. We made some amazing friendships and we met some amazing people as part of the network. Relationships that we really hope will continue. But, yep, it was just time for us to head off. But, as I said, I put the word out to literally the Twitter sphere to see who can make themselves available. We may even throw together a mini little megasode, and we're going to be reviewing The Incredibles 2 somewhere this month. Also, we're going to be recording our next spotlight for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We're also going to be recording another mini-sode for the remaining Jurassic sequels. For as long as we spent on the original film today, that's how long we're going to spend on the other 3 films. Because, well, there's really not all that much. I mean, we're not going to be fawning over every scene like we were.
Hey, you don't know how I feel about those sequels. You keep quiet. I may love all the sequels, including part 3 where the Spinosaurus kills the damn T-Rex in the first 5 minutes.
But it's only the T-Rex on Site B. Nobody cares about the T-Rex on Site B.
It's not Rexy.
It's not Rexy, man. It's not.
Nope,
nobody cares about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very, very much for listening, for supporting the show, for all... you guys are amazing. Like, every single thing that you guys have done for the show, all the amazing support, following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Epic Film Guys. We super appreciate every single thing that you guys have done for the show. And we've only got bigger and better things coming. In July, we've got another megasode coming. In September, we're going to be joining our brothers over on the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews for yet another crossover. Can't wait to put that together, the nuts and bolts of that.
Does
one.
that mean we get to actually use funds and fly over there to see him? Or
I fucking wish, dude. If we had the money, like sponsors, this is where we need you guys. We need money to get to Perth.
Pay for us to go over there. You pay us to go to Australia, hang out in Perth. I want to get drunk with Paul and Wayne in real life.
I don't think you'd be getting drunk with Wayne, but I know what you would be doing. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you so, so much. Please, we don't say it very often on the show. We don't really do the plug for the reviews all that often. But we are going to be starting something new in the month of July with some other podcasts, just kind of doing a drive to get some iTunes reviews, some subscriptions going. Every single review on iTunes helps push us up the rankings and helps get us up to the top. We are approaching 100 last I checked. That was quite a while ago, though. But we would really, really appreciate your support. If you do like what you hear, if you do love the show, please head over there and throw us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review. Whatever rating you really feel is appropriate. If you hear all these fucking people talking about dicks, sucking dicks, I got a big dick, my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks,
sucking
cocks,
a dick,
everything.
licking a dick, balls.
If you can't handle it and you just want to get on there and be like, man,
he told me that he sucked the blood from the penis and the scrotum and put the balls in his mouth.
Balls in his mouth. If you want to say, like Loot Quest, and I love Shampoo for doing this. They got a 3-star review on iTunes, and somebody said that their humor was crass and sophomoric, and Shampoo made a fucking t-shirt out of it. I fucking love it. That's not an invitation, mind you, to give us a bad review so that we make a t-shirt out of it, but if it's interesting enough, we might. Just saying.
Just saying.
I don't even know. We love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you very, very much for tuning into the show this and every single week. And if this is your first time listening to the Epic Film Guys, first of all, thank you for listening to the entire episode. Thank you for getting to this point. We love you. We appreciate you. For myself, for Justin, for the god of podcasting himself, the sauce.
Check. Sound check.
Trying to check in like it's the beginning of the goddamn show. Thank you all very, very much for listening, and we will see you.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
That is not the way we roll out the show.
Oh, hold on. At the
I'm
movies?
kind of like the Donald Trump of love.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. I fucked you last night. Your pussy wasn't wet enough. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, that is. If nothing is crass and sophomoric, that is. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We'll see you at the movies.